All right, family. Black Power. Black Power is the truth hour with General Cyrus Sunseti. Kick back, get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. I'm excited and delighted to be accepting members to not only the Cyrus Sunseti YouTube page, but the General Seti YouTube page, two dynamic powerhouse institutions on YouTube, giving you nothing but Black Power, Black Divinity. I want you to subscribe immediately. I want you to become a member. The link for the membership right down in the video description is in the chat. All you have to do is just click it. You get a video introduction, rundown on the memberships, what they entail. You see one you like, you should most definitely join, even if you don't. I appreciate your presence here at the Sarasu Seti General Seti YouTube page. Continue to engage, continue to advance. That's right, family. The General got a new website up on Teachable, uploading a lot of dynamic curriculums, powerhouse programs, certificate courses. First one up, 25 Steps to the Redemption of Definitive Black Manhood, designed by the General, strictly for the brothers. It's an amazing, amazing course. You can get a preview again by clicking that link in the chat. Also included the Brotherhood of Heru Roundtable live stream where the brothers meet once a week discussing very important, vital, powerful information pertinent to our growth and development. I want you to get on over there, check it out, family, and become a brother, become a member today. Ring the alarm, KingSeti.com, online marketplace, official General Sarasu Seti, DVD lectures, t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry, holistic tonics and remedies, home decor, accessory for every room in the house. I got something for your family. I know you're going to like and love. Get over there, check out that catalog, get a discount, shop and save and shop. Pull the fire alarm, generalseti.com, SETI University, over 2,500 videos, 40 different subjects, all the subjects that you know and love from the General. There's not another website nowhere on the planet that could compare, compete. I want you to become a member today, and everybody knows SETI popping on Patreon. The poppingest page on Patreon by far. We got that work tonight. I want you in the house. We got the power of the old kingdom. Kemet is the goat of civilizations, period. Mind-blowing pyramid age for all you space cadets on that silly Billy theories and hypotheses. You need to be in the house. All you have to do is click that link right there at the top of the chat. We also dropping ancient Egypt military colony of Mother Ethiopia. We're going to be going into Kush. We're going into Ta-Seti. We're going into Ta-Nahisi. We're going into the sacred lands of the gods and goddesses, the Ta-Netaru. I want you in the house, family. Make sure you click that. And also, yeah, we got to drop that one down. 72 chambers of the pineal gland. We're going to start breaking them down one by one so you'll understand what these portals is that's in the pineal, the third eye. You need to know so you can access it. And finally, to all the family that donated to the General, thank you. Those would like to donate, link right there in the chat, and I appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels, King Seti, General Seti, Sarasun Seti. Rock that notification bell, get a video a thumbs up, like it because you love it, share it with your family and friends, and comment. Just don't say nothing stupid because I will ban your ass. Here we go, family. We talking about, was there an eighth continent called Lumeria? You see, and so yeah, this is another, and now this is needs to be discussed more in depth. You understand? This is more reasonable. You see that we discussed this because we have done research where certain cities have went under the ground. You see what I'm saying? We went down there under the water, and the evidence is there. You see, the evidence is there. You got statues. Even when you get down into Lower Kemet, you see Lower Egypt. You see, you can get down there in that Delta region, and they find a whole lot of temples, and because that was marshland anyway. You see, and so with the dynamics of the flood, they dam in the river, and the silt no longer coming down, and now, like as in ancient time, then the soil get to erode. You see what I'm saying? You're not replenishing the soil. That's why they call Egypt the gift of the Nile. call Egypt the gift of the Nile because over the millions of years of that, the flooding of the Nile. You see, and it's floods with the rising of the star Sirius. And when that star arises, then it's in correlation with the flooding of the Nile. And so, the majority of the water that's flooding is coming out of Ethiopia. So the Blue Nile. And so you got the White Nile, which is the longest branch, but then you got the Blue Nile, which is the more powerful branch. So, the silt that's coming down into Egypt, and a lot of people say that's why they call it Kemet, because of the black soil. Ain't nobody, goddamn it, it's black soil every goddamn where. You see what I'm saying? So a motherfucker gonna name some shit black soil, I mean, you gonna have Kemets all over the planet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but, in essence, knowing that, we also understand that Khnum used the mud of the Nile to make an African woman and man. That's what so it don't make no difference. Ain't no getting around that. Say he used the Kemet, he used the black soil to mold the clay. He's the clay of the earth. You see what I'm saying? To mold, he's the potter. You see, to mold African man and woman in the Nile. You see, so that's what it is. And so, this silt comes down the river and it settles millions of years, and so the land filled in, and so it's called the gift of the Nile. It's called the gift of the Nile. Now, once they dam that river, and and the silt no longer was going down there and replenishing, it became weak, and a lot of it broke off, went back into the water. The Delta region probably extended further out. You see what I'm saying? It probably extended further out than what it did today. So a lot of that land that, it broke off. And so a lot of statues and things of that nature is up under the water. So, yeah, there's evidence of certain areas. Now, if you go into India, you got that one city that they call Dwarka. Okay, they got that one city that they call Dwarka, and it was the city of Krishna, which is the Black Christ of India, the Black Christ. He's the 8th avatar. See, so that we understand what we talking about when we talk about, the avatar. People saying, the 8th avatar, Krishna, which means black. You see, and then we dealing with, Akasha, which is, the ether, and so you dealing with blackness all around. Ain't no getting away from that. You see, that's the essence of creation, where the codes of creation is in the primordial blackness. And so, so this city, Dwarka, is the city of Krishna, the Black Christ of India. And it supposedly went under the water. You see, and so they've been over there doing some research, and they saying they finding some things. You could imagine if some shit go under the water. I mean, if it's been under there for thousands of years, I mean, damn, you got to go deep. You got to really go. And so not everybody is equipped to do that type of research, and, and go down to the depths like that. Hey, Black Power family, we're in the house. Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, I seen that where, they got the, in Japan where it's cut, it's cut. It's geometrically cut into blocks. You see what I'm saying? Now, I mean, unless this water is a water god over there. Yeah. Say with Tartarian, I mixed up. Yeah, Tartaria, I mixed up with Lumeria. Yeah, and they talking, so they got a lot of crazy shit going on. Ray, if you keep watching, you get dizzy. They got so much crazy shit out there. They got the Tartaria and this, that, and the third. But see, that all that Tartarian shit, that's theosophy. That's where they get that shit from. That's theosophy. So it's in there. No wonder you'll get dizzy. They got Hyperborea. They got the Hyperboreans. Then they got the Etherians and shit. They ether. They got the root. All of that shit come out of the root races. You see, the first ones was the Etherians. They just air and shit. They ain't even got no physical being. They just spirit. You see what I'm saying? On a physical goddamn planet. You see, so you ether and shit, you Etherians. You see, so the first stage of existence was Etherians. And then you got the Hyperboreans. And that's up. See what they needed to do was flip the script. You see what I'm saying? You flipping the script. And so you don't want to agree with Africa is the oldest civilization. So they rewrote, the history of humanity. That's literally what the Theosophists did. And they started in the north. So when you deal with the Etherians and the Hyperboreans and shit, Hyperborea is up in southern Russia. I mean, northern Russia, they're up there in that area. Yeah, that shit up there in the cold and shit. So that is up there. And say they get this shit out of Greek mythology where Apollo is, well, goddamn, if Apollo, which is the sun, went up there, you would think it would be warm and shit. But they up there. So you got the Hyperboreans, and then after the Hyperboreans, then you get the Lumerians. You see, then you get but each root race is supposed to extend its hand in educating the next race coming along. So the Etherians helped to civilize the Hyperboreans, and then each one of them somehow, they dissipated. The civilization come to an end, and it's a branch of them that that are able to survive, and they come and they help the next root race to get it going. So the Hyperboreans come and they help the Lumerians. And then when Lumeria collapsed, then the Lumerians went to Atlantis and they helped the Atlanteans. And then, and so when Atlantis supposedly went under the water, remnants of the Atlantis, supposedly went to Egypt, went to, they started the Mayan and shit. And this is where these niggas get that the Mayan civilization is older than Egypt because, the Atlantean, America is supposedly an extension of Atlantis, because it supposedly was in the Atlantic Ocean. You see what I'm saying? Yes, it was in the Atlantic Ocean. And so they say, that parts of America was a part of Atlantis. And so they trying to say that was older than Egypt. You see what I'm saying? And that when Atlantis collapsed, then remnants of and saying that a lot of what is in Mexico with the Mayan and shit was capitals, different capitals of Atlantis. And so from there they went to Egypt. So this is how they try to explain Egypt by way of the Mayan. Now I went there, I saw it for myself. And no doubt about it, it is amazing. Okay, no doubt about it. It's amazing. But you understand, it's not like, when you go to Egypt, you like, well, goddamn, how in the hell did they do this? You see what I'm saying? It ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? So let's be real. But I take my hats because that's our people. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's our people. For real. That's us. We put that there. You know what I'm saying? Remnants of our peoples was on all continents, laying down civilization, and they were connected. I don't want no, just like it's a global, connected world today, it was a global connected world then. And our peoples was sharing knowledge all over the planet. But there's no doubt about it because our people was in Africa longer than any other continent that they had created and gathered, and through trial and error and advancement of knowledge, they was on a whole nother level. It's evident. Anything else, you're going to try to come up with a lie and say, well, this is why it ain't. Nigga, it's there. You understand what I'm saying? It's so, and people keep acting like, oh, it's just 3 pyramids in Egypt. Is you a fool? Man, there's so many megalithic structures in Egypt. It's just blow the mind. It just blow the mind. That's when Herodotus, who was the father of European history, He said it himself. He said there is no, I've been every motherfucking way. You understand? He didn't get to the Americas, but he had been through all Greece and Asia and all through. And he said there's no other country on the planet that has so many wonders that defy the mind. You see what I'm saying? That defy logic. You see, anybody in their right mind. So this is the epicenter. You understand? Ain't nobody even coming close. It ain't even coming close. You could take the smallest pyramid in Egypt, and it could be it could fall down. It's more, but what's up under it? See, when they would get up under them pyramids and them burial chambers, they would be so elaborate up under there. So even if the pyramid fall down on top, once you get up under there, you see what I'm saying? It's just it's amazing what they got up under the pyramid. That's why I keep saying, I mean, when people talk about, you know, and I ask them, I say, well, where the monuments at? You talk about Israel, where the monument? Even if they knock the motherfucker down on top. And you got to think, even when you look at Egypt, when you building megalithic stones like that, you understand what I'm saying? Ain't nobody, do you know how many people you gonna need to knock some shit down? Like most people gonna ravage the little shit that they can. You understand what I'm saying? But they not gonna be able to knock down no goddamn pyramid. And even if they knock some of them did, you know, where they scavenge something off of them, you ain't about to go under the ground. And even if they go under the ground, they ain't gonna go down there to destroy the shit. They're gonna get whatever treasures and they're gonna get the fuck out of there. So even if they knock some shit down on the ground, on top of the ground, where is the elaborate burial systems under the ground for the Israelites or any of them motherfuckers? Cannot find it. Cannot find it. You cannot find it. And so, you know, we got to quit, you know, letting these motherfuckers fool us. Now, again, this Lumeria thing is more believable because we didn't seen, now, I don't know if they would have called it Lumeria. You see what I'm saying? That's just something that, you know, and all the, you know, the mythological shit that go along with Lumeria, I do believe over there in that area that is evidence. They could see, you know, they call it Sunderland or whatever they call it, that they could through satellite, they could see the continent over there, that it went up under the ground. That's how they got over to, you know, Australia, and it was accessible at that time. You see, it was accessible at that time, and so it didn't sunk under the water. Yeah, Mu, and Mu is also in the Medu Neter. It means water. You see what I'm saying? It means water. And so, yeah, I do believe that, you know, in certain, because you got to think over there in that Pacific, it's a lot of volcanoes too. You see what I'm saying? You got that ring of fire over there in the Pacific. So ain't no telling, some shit could have went off and caused destruction and shit. That's possible when you look at Vesuvius, how Vesuvius not, you know, destroyed what's that? Damn. Mount Vesuvius destroyed, what's that city over there? Throw it out there, family. I be moving so fast. What was that city? I know one of them was Herculaneum. Okay, one of them was Herculaneum, and then it was two cities. Pompeii. Thank you, family. Pompeii and Herculaneum. You see what I'm saying? Both of them was destroyed. So you got evidence where cities, you know, are destroyed and, you know, and things is knocked down and you know, it's evidence of that. And so why they call it Lumeria is because this guy, his name, I believe was Slater. You know, I believe it was Philip Slater, and he, you know, they could see that, you know, that there was the lemur monkey, you know, only in I believe it was India and I believe Madagascar. You know what I'm saying? And you couldn't find it nowhere else but there. But when people know and do the research, Madagascar and India been connected for a long time. You see what I'm saying? They've been going crossing back and forth. You know, that's the jump off between Africa and India, coming from that southern perspective. You know what I'm saying? Now, up there by the Horn, they could go straight on across. But, as far as that southern extremities of Africa, that Madagascar was the jump off. So I mean, damn. Even if the lemur was on one side, you could explain that through trade. People bring animals just like they did the lion. You only find the lion in one area in all of India, and that's over there in that it's called the GIR forest. Yeah, the Gir forest. So yeah, that's logical. I do believe that it could be an eighth continent. Matter of fact, I don't know if it was big enough. They say that Australia and part of what was Sunderland probably was one, and part of it broke off and went under the ground. Shit, Africa is breaking up right now in that Great Rift Valley, and they say shit, maybe 100 million years from now, shit, part of Africa might break off and become just like Arabia did. So but it ain't gonna go under the water, but part of it probably is. Part of it is gonna go under because it's sinking. So when you see the crack, the shit is falling in. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, that's a good possibility. But anyway, family, I didn't even did I show the motherfucker? Here we go. Let me play it right quick.
Eighth continent, bigger than Australia. It is said that it was flooded over by a worldwide cataclysm that happened thousands of years ago, around the time of a big reset. However, it was not completely flooded, as there are still remnants of this land that people are still living on today. Now listen to this. Both ancient Mayans and Indians lived on opposite ends of the world and no form of communications.
I don't know what kind of Indian that is.
Had records of this mysterious land mass referred to as Lumeria, located in the Pacific Ocean. This large landmass was said to have had a population of over 60 million people. The existence of the Lemurian continent would pose a better explanation to how the Polynesian islands in the Pacific Ocean became populated. Ruins such as the Nam Madal could possibly be evidence that proves this landmass did once exist. Nam Madal is a complex of isolated man-made islands in the Pacific Ocean that were built with stone blocks that weighed up to 50 tons and were set on top of a coral reef, and is the only ancient city in the world to have done so. Mu or Lemuria could be found in the Pacific Ocean and supposedly reached Hawaii in the north and stretched southeast as far as Easter Island and touched Micronesia in the west. Now, I'm not great at geography, but if this is true, that is a huge continent.
Let me put that, let me see if this other one, let me drop this other one in here.
Rumor has it that there was once an eighth continent bigger than Australia. It is said that it was flooded over by a worldwide cataclysm that happened thousands of years ago around the time of a big reset. However, it was not completely flooded, as there are still remnants of this land that people are still living on today. Now listen to this. Both ancient Mayans and Indians lived on opposite ends of the world and no form of communications. Yet they still both had records of this mysterious landmass referred to as Lemuria, located in the Pacific Ocean. This large landmass was said to have had a population of over 60 million people. The existence of the Lemurian continent would pose a better explanation to how the Polynesian islands in the Pacific Ocean became populated. Ruins such as the Nan model could possibly be evidence that proves this landmass did once exist. Nan model is a complex of isolated man-made islands in the Pacific Ocean that were built with stone blocks that weighed up to 50 tons and were set on top of a coral reef, and is the only ancient city in the world to have done so. Mu or Lemuria could be found in the Pacific Ocean and supposedly reached Hawaii in the north and stretched southeast as far as Easter Island and touched Micronesia in the west. Now, I'm not great at geography, but if this is true, that is a huge continent. Like, comment, follow, and share.
Yeah, so yeah, that was actually the same. But yeah, I seen what you say. I know you don't believe. Yeah, well, it's the same racism. That just show you the mind of the people who created. They're just like God. God is just as racist as the Neanderthal that created the motherfucker. Yeah, that's who's speaking for God, the motherfucker who created them. So when they get to creating these what they call them, Palladians and all these different, I mean, who you think they instill in them their own racist mind? So the goddamn Palladians is racist and all the just as racist as the damn Neanderthal that created them. I'll be right back. I appreciate y'all, family. It's going down. Matter of fact, I'm about to go over to Patreon right now. It's going down. We're gonna start with the power of the old kingdom. Kemet is the goat of civilizations, period, mind-blowing period, pyramid age. The link is right at the top. So you can come on over and check it out with us. And I'll be black to YouTube in about 30 minutes. But come on over here and get that work, family. This is General Cyrus Soon said. He said, hey, arm yourself with knowledge, bang on that wicked ass beast daily, liberation through African education and confrontation. Black power.